You've got some nerve thinking you have the right to marry my son. I will never, ever allow a person such as yourself to get married to my Eugene. Do I make myself crystal clear? You are never welcome in this house again. A mere peasant such as yourself has no business setting foot in a home like ours.
Wow, when I saw the notification that you had texted me, I was expecting to see an apology. You know, since you threw a cup of tea all over me and chased me out the door, this was quite the experience. I've never met someone so willing to out themselves as a sociopathic comic book villain before.
And why would I apologize for doing any of that? It was all for your benefit. I had to make sure you were aware of your position in society. You should be thanking me, if anything.
Excuse me? Just what do you mean by my position in society?
I'm sorry. Is English not your strong suit? I thought it was perfectly clear what I meant. In this world, you're the kind of person that gets things thrown at them when they don't know their place. Does that make things clearer to you? Or will I have to dumb it down even more to make you understand? Honestly, you can't even comprehend basic English. How did you ever get the idea in your head that you were worthy of my son?
The issue isn't my English. The issue is your nonsensical logic. First thing, my family isn't poor, so you're just plain wrong on that point. Second, even if I were poor, that wouldn't give you the right to physically assault me for coming into your home when invited.
How adorable. A person who went to nothing but public schools all the way from elementary to high school thinks they aren't poor? Furthermore, not only was your father nothing but an ordinary salaried employee, but your mother worked. She had a job rather than being a housewife. If that isn't poor, then I have no idea what is.
Yeah, we agree on that point. You have no idea what a poor family is. You think that makes a family poor? Are you serious?
Oh, you silly, silly girl. Compared to our family, all of you commoners are poor. Men who make a respectable living don't need to ship their wives off to some factory to make ends meet. I quit my job the very day that I married my husband, and I haven't earned one single solitary cent ever since. My husband runs his own company. He's an elite executive. I can get anything I could possibly want in this world with just his income alone.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you have a very comfortable lifestyle with your husband's income. He runs one of the biggest companies in the state, and well, I'm trying to remember what Eugene told me. How many houses do you guys own? Was it 4 or 5?
4? What do you think I am, lower middle class? We have 6 houses, thank you very much. We had 5 for some time, but we drove by a lovely little cottage a few weeks ago, so I had my husband buy it for me. My husband is absolutely wonderful to me. He buys me whatever I want. I'm sure that must be quite a shock, coming from a family who only owns a single run-down shack.
Leaving the run-down jab aside for now, yes, we own one house, but seeing as my parents both worked, it was hard for us to go on any extended vacations together anyway. We could barely ever go camping overnight, much less go and stay in a second home for the weekend.
I really don't understand how you peasants could live like that. Our family went on vacations whenever we felt like it. That's one of the benefits of inheriting a successful family business. Since you run the whole company, there's no need for you to ask for time off work. You simply take it. I've probably forgotten about more family vacations than a pauper like you has ever taken.
How lovely for you.
And my lifestyle didn't change one bit after marrying my husband. He's an incredibly talented businessman, one of the best in the country, I'd say. He managed to start up his own company, even without the financial assistance of my fabulously wealthy parents. Not only that, but he made it into a giant in the industry. Eugene inherited his genes, too. He's just as talented as his father. He took my grandparents' company and made it into an even more powerful enterprise.
Trust me, I am very aware of what a hard-working and talented man Eugene is. Leading a well-established company like that at such a young age has to come with a ton of pressure. But he doesn't ever seem like the pressure bothers him at all. He just pushes on towards whatever goal he's working on and generating results, too. It's precisely that nature of his that makes me want to support him as his wife.
Hold your tongue, peasant girl. I've tried so hard to get you to understand just how low your stature is, but you are bound and determined to avoid the plain truth. My family is descended from nobility, and our company has well over 100 years of history. My husband is one of the most successful businessmen in this state in a century, and my wonderful son is already a successful executive at his young age. Many of my relatives run their own companies as well. A lowly, impoverished girl like you has no business marrying into a family like mine. I order you to break up with my son immediately.
Well, Katrina, you've made your opposition to our marriage very clear. I also know that your reason for opposing our marriage is because I'm apparently not wealthy enough for your standards.
Yes, and that's a perfectly valid reason. Marriages are supposed to take place between people who are of the same caliber. You, my dear, are simply not up to snuff. I won't let you have my son. Don't think I don't know that you're only marrying my son for his money, you vile, greedy little girl.
Okay then, fine. We'll call the engagement off.
Good! Now never come anywhere near our house again. If people see you in the area, it'll cause local real estate values to plummet.
Understood. Goodbye, Katrina.
Alina, is it true? Are you really breaking off our engagement? My mom just called me over. She said she had something really important to talk to me about, and she told me that you accepted her request to break off our engagement? Please, Alina, tell me that isn't true.
No, it's the truth, actually. The way she was talking to me, it just made me so sick to my stomach. I couldn't just sit back and take it anymore, so I decided to put our marriage on hold for now.
Alina, I am so sorry for the way my mother spoke to you today. Don't worry, I'm gonna have a serious heart-to-heart talk with my mom about this. I'll have her apologize to you in person. So please don't do this. Don't break up with me. You're the only woman in the world for me. There's no one else I'd rather marry.
I really appreciate you saying that, Eugene. It makes me so happy to have a man love me the way you do. But I'm sorry, I just can't get married while the mother of the groom is so desperately opposed to the marriage. It just wouldn't work out. I had no choice but to call off the engagement.
But Alina!
Don't worry, Eugene. Everything's gonna be all right. Remember, I'm only calling off our engagement for now. I didn't say for good.
Wait. Really? So we're not breaking up?
She said to call the engagement off, so I did. It's as simple as that. My long-term plans remain unchanged, however. I still have every intention of marrying you. We're going to be together forever, Eugene. It might just take a wee bit longer than we originally planned. That's all.
Really? You mean it? So it's not that you don't love me anymore?
Not at all. I still love you just as much as I ever have. I just can't get over what a stupid reason your mother has for opposing our relationship. It seems like she needs a little bit of convincing. If I can convince her that I'm a fitting wife, all our troubles are solved. I'm going to make her an offer she can't refuse, so they say. When I'm through with her, she'll be begging me to marry you.
Alina, why are you quoting a mafia movie? What are you planning to do to my mother? You're kind of scaring me here.
To be honest, I haven't come up with a concrete plan yet, but I have a couple of ideas I'm working on.
Well, okay, but just as long as that concrete doesn't end up on my mom's feet, got it? Seriously, though, I don't think you need to be so concerned about having my mom's consent or not. Why can't we just ignore her? She'll come to accept it sooner or later if we just push forward. Plus, my dad is super supportive of us. I'm sure if we told him we wanted to elope, he'd give us his blessing.
Yeah, that is one option we have available to us, I guess. But my pride won't allow me to take the easy way out in this situation. I'm going to prove to your mom that I'm the only woman out there who's good enough for you.
Wow. You know, you're typically kind of quiet and avoid confrontation, but man, when you get your mind set on something, there's nothing in the world that could stop you. All right then, Alina, if that's the way you feel, then you go ahead and do what you need to do. We can put our wedding on hold for now, like you want, but if it's all right, could we work together on convincing my mom to accept our relationship? I don't want you to have to do it alone.
Thanks, Eugene. I appreciate you being so understanding. My goal is to have everything settled before the end of the year. Do you think you could handle waiting until then?
Well, I've heard everything from Eugene, Alina. I see you've finally given up on your ridiculous attempt to marry my son.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I haven't given up on Eugene by a long shot. We're only breaking off our engagement. Technically, you could say that we've broken up, but I still have every intention to marry Eugene.
And here I was thinking you finally saw reason. What a silly little girl you are. You peasant types never know when to quit, do you? It's embarrassing to watch. Every single word you say makes me more and more confident I was right about you, Alina. You're not up to snuff to marry into this family.
Speaking of which, I had something I wanted to ask you about. When you say I'm not up to snuff, what does that mean specifically? What would you consider being up to snuff?
What?
It's clear that this is a subjective judgment by you, so I'd like you to clarify what you mean by that. More specifically, what would I have to do in order to get you to accept me as a suitable wife for Eugene? I'm very much in love with Eugene, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes for you to approve of me. So what about me isn't up to snuff? What would I have to do to become up to snuff?
I don't see why I should have to explain myself to the likes of you, but since you're being so obnoxiously persistent, I'll humor you. I'm talking about money, you dolt. If you don't have at least a similar net worth to ours, then there's no way I could ever consider you as up to snuff for my Eugene.
Ah, I see. So let me see if I have this correct. You're saying that I need to have as much money as your family does, right?
Isn't that what I just told you? Yes. If you had as much money as my family does, then I would accept your relationship. Not that a pathetic little peasant girl like yourself could ever do that. It would take you 1,000 years, maybe even 10,000.
You really think it would take that long?
Oh no. Are you going to tell me that you're going to go right now and start saving up money until you have as much as my family does? You must have dropped out of high school or something. Basic math skills would tell you that's impossible. You could save $1,000 a month every month for the rest of your life, and it still wouldn't be enough, you idiot. It's clear to me now why you thought you deserved to marry my Eugene. You're not living in reality. You're living in some peasant fantasy world.
Huh?
Did you forget what I told you before? I come from a line of successful entrepreneurs. He's retired now, but my grandfather ran the family business he inherited from his father. Eugene now runs that company, and he's grown our family's wealth and influence to a far greater level than it ever has been. My husband is a successful businessman in his own right. He built his own company from the ground up, and it's now one of the most successful companies in the area. When you add up our real estate and other liquid assets, our net worth is positively astronomical, something the likes of you could never possibly comprehend. I would make a conservative estimate of our total net worth at around 50 million.
50 million, huh? I see. You're right, that is quite a lot of money. It definitely would be difficult to build up that kind of wealth from scratch.
Do you see now, peasant girl? Are you finally prepared to give up on marrying Eugene? No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you save, no matter what you do, there is no possible way that you will ever end up being up to snuff for this family. Now, go and marry some poor man who's just as poor as you are. You'll find plenty of them downtown on the street, living in cardboard boxes.
Nah, no thanks. I'm gonna go ahead and marry Eugene. After all, my family meets your criteria of being up to snuff, so you shouldn't have any problem with us getting married. Isn't that great news?
What on earth are you talking about? I give up. I surrender. You are totally hopeless. Even after all this time, you still think your pathetic, impoverished family is worthy of associating with mine.
You said we'd need to have a net worth of 50 million, right? We've got plenty more than that. I was actually kind of surprised you set your standards so low, to be honest. I had no idea you'd be so reasonable. Now that that's settled, Eugene and I can go back to preparing for our wedding.
Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea how much money 50 million is? If you make 1,000 a day, it would take you over 100 years to save that much. There's no way a family as poor as yours could ever have that much money. It's mathematically impossible. What are you going to try and tell me now? Have you just been pretending to be a poor family, and the truth is that you're actually fabulously wealthy?
Yeah, actually we are. My family may not live too extravagantly, but the truth is we are quite wealthy. You said you were descended from nobility, isn't that right? Me too. I have royal blood.
Wait, you have royal blood? What do you mean?
It's surprising to hear, huh? Imagine how I felt the first time my parents told me about it. They sat me down one day when I was old enough to understand and broke the news to me. I didn't even believe them at first. I started laughing. I thought it was all some kind of prank. I don't believe that story either. That's all a lot of nonsense. Clearly your parents are just lying to you to make you feel better about being in abject poverty. I mean, think about it, Alina. If your family were really royalty, why on earth would you be living in a place like this? I can't believe you actually took such a ridiculous story seriously. Believe it or not, it's the truth. But my grandfather was actually a member of an Arabian royal family. And as for why we're living here, we moved over here when my grandpa died, before I was born.
Are you being serious right now?
My grandmother was from around here, but she went on a trip in the Middle East after graduating from high school. While she was there, my grandpa saw her while he was out on the town disguised as a commoner to get away from their mansion for a while and instantly fell in love with her. So, yeah, he went up and talked to her, and long story short, my grandma became a princess.
A princess?
To be fair, it's not like she was the only princess. My grandpa wasn't even in line to inherit the throne, so she was never going to be the queen or anything. But being royalty, they had enough money to live wherever they wanted, however they wanted, with no issues. Their happiness was short-lived, though. Shortly after their son, my dad, was born, my grandpa passed away in a tragic accident. So my grandma had a discussion with the rest of the royal family about what to do, and in the end, they all agreed that it would be for the best for my grandma to move back here with my dad. They made a deal with her. In exchange for inheriting all of her husband's share of their family's assets, she would renounce her and my dad's royal status. They obviously didn't want some distant relatives coming around in the future all of a sudden making a claim to the throne, you see.
That sounds like something out of a movie.
Needless to say, the money that she inherited was more than enough for her to raise my dad by herself. She also invested that money well, and so her fortune just kept growing and growing and growing. And as a result of that, my family's estate is just about as big as yours is.
I don't believe this. It can't be true. If you really had that much money, you'd surely be living a much more luxurious lifestyle than you are now. Your house, your clothes, your car, everything you own is so painfully middle class.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, I guess my family just never really had much of a taste for luxury. Plus, the only reason we had all that money was because my grandma married into royalty. It seemed like it would be disrespectful to my grandpa's memory if we just went and squandered it all on expensive junk.
But
you, on the other hand, are one incredible person, Katrina. All your family's money is from the hard work of your grandparents, your parents, your husband, and your son. You haven't worked a day in your life, have you? But you have absolutely no problem lording your family's wealth over other people despite doing nothing at all to contribute to it. That's incredible.
What did you just say? Are you trying to insult me, Alina?
Insult you? Oh, perish the thought. I'd never dream of insulting you. I'm just impressed with how uninhibited you are, that's all. If it were me, I'd never be able to act like you do. I'd be way too ashamed. But you don't seem like it bothers you at all. That's incredible.
You are insulting me, aren't you?
In any case, everything I've just said is true. So my family meets your criteria. We have just as much, if not more, money to our names as your family does. So what do you say to that, Katrina? Is my family up to snuff? Do you still object to me and Eugene getting married?
Oh, that. Well,
If you don't believe me yet, that's fine. I can prove everything if you want me to. I can go and get some bank statements showing a detailed breakdown of my family's assets. My grandma can show you the pictures from their wedding with the whole royal family together, too. You should see her dress. It was gorgeous. Oh, wait, that's right. You told me that I was never welcome at your house again because my presence might lower neighborhood real estate values. How about I give all the documents to Eugene and have him bring them to you? Would you prefer doing it that way? Anyway, I'm gonna go and get everything ready. I'll let Eugene know when I'm done.
I can't believe it. You were telling the truth. You really are descended from royalty. Oh, and your grandmother's dress really was gorgeous. I'd love to wear a dress like that. And all the bank documentation checked out, so you really are just as wealthy as we are. I admit that now.
Well, thank you very much for believing me, Katrina. Can I take this to mean that you now no longer have any objections to Eugene and I getting married? Is that right?
Of course, go right ahead, dear. Now that I know the truth, I don't have any more reason to oppose your relationship. Quite the contrary, I'd be thrilled for my son to marry a woman of such high stature as yourself. We would love to welcome you into our family as a daughter-in-law.
Isn't that generous of you?
Oh, do listen, though, dear. The truth is, on the inside, I've always been completely supportive of your relationship. Really, all I've ever wanted was for my darling son to marry the woman he loved, and for the two of you to live happily ever after. It's just that, well, you understand, don't you? I had to consider the social standing of my family. I had no choice but to object. It's not that I wanted to get in between you two. I wished that there was some way you could be together. I'm sorry for calling you things like poor, peasant, pauper, impoverished, middle class, idiot, dolt, and, well, all the other nasty things I said to you. I never meant a single word of it, Alina. You understand that, don't you?
Wow, this is quite a change of heart for you. It's almost like I'm speaking to a completely different person.
I can say the same about you. Now that I know the truth, I wouldn't want Eugene to marry any woman in the world except you. I'm so glad that you'll finally be able to get married. Ever since the day you walked into our house, I thought that the two of you were so perfect for each other.
Well, thanks for that. Although it seems odd that you would throw a cup of tea all over the woman who you thought was perfect for your son.
Oh, that silly old story. Oh, let's just forget that ugly incident ever happened. What's important is that now you and my son are getting married. So we need to get working on planning the wedding right away. I'd say this calls for a lavish celebration. We're going to have a wedding fit for a princess.
Nah, that's all right. We're gonna have a small, simple wedding with just the immediate family members. Me and Eugene don't really care that much about fancy food, decorations, that sort of thing.
Don't be ridiculous, I insist. We're going to have a wedding that puts your grandparents one to shame. After all, neither of our families are hurting for money. We should have the kind of party that people of our economic class have.
Really, Katrina, it's fine. We don't need that. We don't want that either.
I have a friend of a friend who knows the designer who designs dresses for a number of Hollywood actresses. We'll have them make your dress. And of course, I'll want a dress too. What do you think, Alina? What kind of dress are you going to buy for me? Oh, do you think you could ask for one of your grandmother's in-laws to make me one?
Hold on. You want me to buy a dress for you?
Well, obviously, yes. After all, I did consent to you marrying my son, didn't I? You want to show your appreciation to me for that, don't you? With a fortune like yours, you can surely afford to splurge a little on such a special occasion. I'd say something in the neighborhood of 30,000 would suffice.
I'm not spending $30,000 or even $300 on a dress for you, Mom. I'm not even going to invite you to our wedding, so leave Alina alone. Never bother her again.
Huh? Wait, did you just call me Mom? Eugene, is that you? Are you with Alina right now?
Yeah, I am. We've been having an important talk about our future, and we've made our decision. I'm cutting you out of my life, and we're just going to have a small wedding for our immediate family. Nothing that we do from now on is any concern of yours, so don't butt into our affairs.
Eugene, what are you saying? You're cutting me out of your life? You can't do that to me. And how can you refuse to invite your own mother to your wedding? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden?
You want to know why, Mom? Go ahead and think back on everything you've done to us so far. You've done nothing but insult, demean, and mock my fiancé, the woman who I chose to spend the rest of my life with. Not only that, you threw a cup of tea on her and threw her out of the house. Honestly, I don't know where you get off even thinking you have the right to talk to Alina at all after doing something like that.
But I just told Alina that I didn't mean it. I never wanted to oppose your relationship. I just had to. Everything I did was to protect you, Eugene.
Oh, shut up. I don't want to hear any more lame excuses out of you, Mom. It took way too long, but I'm grateful that you finally came to accept the fact that we're going to be together. That doesn't change anything, though. Once Alina and I are officially married, I'm never speaking to you again.
Eugene, no.
When we have kids, you're not ever going to meet them. You're going to grow old, sad, and alone because of what you've done. And the best part, you're not even going to have all the money you love so much to keep you company.
How can you talk so cruelly to your own mother, Eugene? And besides, you're wrong. I won't die poor and alone. I still have your father with me, and as long as I have him, then I won't be in need of company or money. Why would you say such a ridiculous thing?
I wouldn't be so sure of that if I were you, Mom. I doubt Dad is gonna be as willing to support you as you think he is.
What? What do you mean?
I mean that I'm not the only one who's completely fed up with you over this. Dad, Grandpa, and even Grandma are all just as furious at you as I am. I had a talk with all of them before coming here to talk with Alina today. Dad's considering divorcing you, and Grandpa is saying that he's hurt that you would be treating the wealth he built as if it were your own.
What? Hold on. Oh, this doesn't make any sense. Divorce? Divorce? Why would that old fool go and say something like that all of a sudden?
This isn't sudden. He's been thinking about it for quite some time now.
But that's...
It's true that we're wealthier than most people. We're literally the 1%ers people get so mad at these days. But you've been looking down on and mistreating other people just because of our economic status. Every snide remark you've made about people with less money than us has pushed Dad one step closer to where he is now. You haven't noticed? You sleep in the same bed as him.
I had no idea. But wait, he always told me that I could buy whatever I wanted, go wherever I wanted, do whatever I wanted. He even bought that lovely cottage for me just a short while ago.
That was just his way of not having to deal with you. He was just saying earlier that it gives him a headache just having to talk to you these days.
He did?
And think about it, Mom. Why do you think Grandpa gave the company to me? Don't you think it was odd that he would completely skip over you, his own daughter, and hand ownership and control of his company straight over to me?
Well, that's because I've never been much for working. All I've ever been is a housewife.
Yeah, that's all you've ever done, and you can't even do that well. You don't even do the housework. You hire a maid service to do all of that for you. You've never shown any desire, interest, or capability of running the company. A skilled businessman like Grandpa could easily see that you'd run the company straight into the ground. So tell me, Mom, exactly what is the point of keeping you around anyway? All you do all day, every day, is spend our money and insult other people. But you weren't satisfied with that. No, you also had to butt into your son's relationship and try to get his fiancé to break up with him. Conversely, can you think of a reason for Dad not to divorce you?
Well...
Why don't you take some time off from being an elitist jerk and think about just what sort of position you're in? All you are is someone lucky enough to be born into a wealthy family and marry a successful man. What would you do if you got kicked to the curb? You'd be living in a cardboard box by the day's end.
No. Oh, this can't be happening. I can't get divorced at my age. I wouldn't be able to live the life of a commoner. It would kill me.
Then I guess you had better do whatever you need to do to keep Dad from divorcing you. If that is, there's anything that you can do about it at this point.
Oh no. Oh, this is terrible. What am I going to do?
You should have thought about that before you went and tried to make my fiancé break up with me. And just to make myself crystal clear, I don't ever want you talking to Alina ever again. Do you understand that? We're not inviting you to the wedding, and you're not allowed to come to our new house once it's built. If you ever try to come and talk to us, I'll throw a cup of tea at you and throw you out the door, just like you did to Alina.
Eugene and I finally got married and had the small family-only service that we wanted. Just like we told her, we didn't invite her to the wedding. Instead, she stayed at home doing housework all day by herself. I wonder how long it's been since she's actually done any housework by herself. She's used to having the maid service do everything for her. Seems that it was a massive shock to her system when Eugene told her he was cutting her out of his life. After that, she went to her husband and her parents and arranged a time for them to talk things out. First, Eugene demanded that she send me a letter of apology immediately. Second, her husband told her that she's on final notice. He wouldn't divorce her right away, but if she didn't change her ways, then he would divorce her in a heartbeat. Third, her parents said that she wouldn't receive a single penny of inheritance from them unless she got a job for herself. Like Eugene said to her in that last text exchange, her husband and parents were fed up with her too, and they weren't going to take it anymore. She's currently working on the cleaning staff at her husband's company. Apparently, he didn't just give her the job. She had to go through the interview process like everyone else. I hope this teaches her a lesson about the value of money and hard work.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Well, Samantha, has the baby been born yet?
No, Isaac. Trust me, I'll keep you in the loop on how I'm doing. You don't need to ask me 3 times a day if the baby's been born yet.
You have got to be kidding me. Would you hurry it up already? You've been in the hospital for an entire week now. What are the doctors saying? When do they think it's gonna happen?
Well, my due date is next week, and the doctors say that if the baby isn't born by then, they'll induce labor.
So that means it's still gonna be another week?
I'm sorry, Isaac. I know you're excited to meet the baby, and I am too. I also know that you must have been lonely without me this last week while I've been in the hospital. They said my blood pressure was getting too high, and they wanted to keep me here in case something happened to me or the baby. I guess high blood pressure can be really dangerous to pregnant women.
Now don't worry about me. I haven't been lonely. And speaking of which, I want to get divorced.
Huh? Really, Isaac? That's not funny.
I'm not joking. Look, I know this may be bad timing for you, but it's great timing for me. I'll send a set of divorce papers to your hospital room, sign them and send them back as soon as possible. You're not too sick to sign your name, are you?
Isaac, you're serious about this? You really want to divorce me? Now?
Like I said, it's now or never. I don't want to wait until after the baby is born to get divorced. Things would get super messy. Now that I know you've still got a week until the baby's born, that means you have plenty of time to sign everything.
What is wrong with you? You're divorcing me while I'm in the hospital about to give birth to your baby? Why, Isaac? Why would you betray me like this?
You want the truth? I've fallen in love with someone else.
I don't believe you. Who is it, Isaac? Who is this woman who's so wonderful that you're willing to leave your pregnant wife for her?
Riley!
No. My younger sister? That Riley?
Do you know any other Rileys? You have no idea how hard it's been for me since you've been in the hospital. I've had to cook my own meals, do my own laundry, clean the house by myself, all while still going to work.
You think it's been easy on me?
Obviously, all you're doing is laying around in a comfortable hospital bed all day.
This isn't exactly a king-size luxury mattress, you know. It's also not much fun having wires attached to every part of my body 24/7.
Oh, poor you! You want pity? You're gonna have to look elsewhere. While you've been shirking your responsibilities as my wife, Riley has been taking care of me. Once she heard how hard I was having it, she started coming down here multiple times a day to cook and clean for me. I can't believe I married you and your sister was a far superior woman all along.
I've only been gone a week. 1 week in the hospital and you abandoned me for my sister? You are a psychopath. An evil, pathological monster. How could you?
It is what it is. Getting mad at me won't change anything. Aren't you supposed to be watching your blood pressure?
You're a jerk, Isaac. You are nothing but scum.
Calm down already. I know this is gonna cause problems for you, so I'm prepared to do my part to take responsibility. I'll make sure you and the kid are taken care of. You'll get plenty of child support. You know I can afford it. But just so you're aware, that's all you're gonna get from me.
What are you saying?
That I don't want to be any part of that kid's life. I'm not gonna be a father to some other kid while I should be paying attention to my new wife.
Just when I thought you couldn't stoop any lower, you're abandoning your own child? I am astonished. I never thought you were capable of doing something like this.
Why do you think I'm doing this, Samantha? Huh? It's your fault.
My fault?
Yeah, you must have been eating too much and exercising too little. If you would have taken better care of yourself while pregnant, you wouldn't have landed in the hospital.
You don't know anything about pregnancy. They're extremely unpredictable. Even the same woman can have completely different experiences with each child. And let's set the record straight here. I have been on my feet practically all day, every day, ever since I got pregnant, taking care of the house. You completely refused to help me with the housework. Actually, the doctor said that is what most likely caused my high blood pressure.
Oh, so you're blaming me now?
Yes, because it's your fault.
Oh, go screw yourself. I'm done with you. All that matters is Riley and I can finally be together. Sign those divorce papers just as soon as you get them. Got it? Good luck with the birth.
Riley, answer your phone right now. You owe me an explanation. What could this be in regards to? Don't play games with me, Riley. You can't really blame me, Samantha. You should have been a better wife, that's all. I have been a fine wife for Isaac, and then all of 2 days into my hospital stay, you swoop in and steal my husband away from me? You should be glad I waited this long, honestly. I've been wanting to get my hands on Isaac since you guys started dating. You being laid up in the hospital made this the perfect chance to finally make my move, and I took it. You mean you've been planning this? What woman in her right mind would pass up the opportunity to land a man making 6 figures? He has to make around $300,000 a year, right? I saw that sweet new car he bought. That must have cost a ton. Yeah, actually around $200,000. He went and bought that without talking to me at all. I wanted to get a more practical car since we're going to be having a baby soon. I guess he was thinking about driving around with me instead of you and your kid. Seriously though, I never expected it would be this easy to rip him away from you. He must not have loved you very much to begin with. All it took was a couple meals and a couple hours cleaning his house, and he started giving me the look. You know what I mean? Oh, shut up, Riley. Whatever, you can have him. I don't want a dirtbag like him in my life anyway. You mean you won't fight the divorce? Nope, I'm done. All my feelings for him are gone. Yes! Now I can finally get married to him. We can start going out together in public and everything. Oh, and one more thing. I'll bet you're planning on getting a bunch of money from him in alimony and child support and whatever. But that all ends once I give him a kid. Excuse me? You think you have any say in the matter? You think you can afford to fight him in court? He's got FU money. I don't want him to spend 1 single cent on your kid when he should be spending it all on me and my kids. By the way, we plan on working very hard to have a baby right away, so enjoy his money while it lasts. You are the most selfish, self-centered person I have ever met. You know what? Fine. If that's how you're gonna be, I don't need any money from him. Whoa, really? I'm gonna hold you to that, you know. Go right ahead. No alimony, no child support. On one condition, however. Oh, great, a condition? What is it? The two of you are never to contact me or my child ever again. Is that it? Really? You mean it? Yes. The only thing I want is for you to disappear from my life forever. Awesome! Now you'll be out of the picture and we won't have to give you any money. No taking that back now. A deal's a deal. But are you really sure about this? How are you gonna make it on your own? I'll make do. I quit working once I found out I was pregnant, but my nursing license is still valid. Go ahead and tell Isaac to send the divorce papers as soon as possible. I'll sign them right away. But let me warn you, nothing good will come out of this for you. I know you seem really stoked on having kids, but I strongly recommend you reconsider. You two lack the moral fiber to be good parents. Any kids you had would lead a life of bitterness and misery because of you. Sore loser. I don't want to hear any of your empty threats. Just sign those papers and get out of our lives. I'm going to have tons of babies with Isaac, and they're all going to be just as successful as he is.
Hey, Samantha, you still using this number? If this is still your number, answer me back as soon as possible. I need your help with something.
It was a nice 3 years without hearing from you, Isaac. Why did you have to go and ruin all of that? I was this close to forgetting that you ever existed.
Yeah, you're bitter and angry that I dumped you. I got it. You finished? Good, let's get down to business. It's an emergency. You need to come to my house right away.
I would rather get hit by a truck.
Yeah, funny coincidence. Riley actually did get hit by a truck.
Wow, really? Is she okay?
Not even close. Well, I mean, she'll live, but she'll be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. The impact severed the nerves in her lower spine. She's paralyzed below the waist.
Wow, that's really too bad. She's still so young.
I don't need your pity, Samantha. I need your help. You have to come over here and help take care of her. I have way more important things to do than spend all day babysitting her.
What could be more important than taking care of your wife?
Making money? I have to work, and you're her sister, so you have a responsibility to help her out.
No way! I have my own child, my own job, my own life. I have no obligation at all to lift a finger for her.
None of that is an excuse. So you have a kid. She's 3 now, right? 3-year-olds can walk. She can take care of herself. Hey, she could probably even give Riley a hand around the house.
You haven't even met her before, but you think you can make her work for you? To support the woman who stole her father away?
That's right. I am her father. And as her father, I order her to work around the house.
You're disgusting, Isaac.
You can call me whatever you want. Just get over here and start cleaning. I'm desperate. You said you have a job, right? I can take care of that too. I'll pay you to work for me.
How much?
For someone with your skills and experience, $500 a month.
Did you forget a zero in there?
No, someone like you isn't worth any more than $500 a month, that's all. You can keep your current job if you want, but no more night shifts. You need to work day shifts only and come straight over here after you get out. You'll make our dinner and clean up in the evenings, then once Riley's asleep, you can go home. Then you'll have to come in before you go to work every morning to make our breakfast and lunch.
For $500?
It's either that or you work for free.
I'm not working for you for any amount of money.
You can't turn me down. You must need the money. You turned down both alimony and child support. You're probably homeless right now, and it's not gonna be that much work. You should be glad I'm even offering you $500.
If it's not that much work, then you do it. Or at least pay someone a proper wage to do it for you.
You don't get to tell me what to do. Now quit your whining, grab an apron, and get over here. I'm hungry and want my dinner. And don't forget about your sister. Riley needs you.
Sister? What sister? I don't have a sister. My only family are my mom, dad, and daughter.
You're pathetic, Samantha. Are you really still mad about me divorcing you? It's been 3 years already. Get over it.
Yeah, it's already been 3 years since you divorced me while I was getting ready to go into labor. My, how the time has flown. Not that you would know, but your daughter has grown a lot since then. She's walking, talking, running, singing, and playing all day long. I even started her on piano lessons a while back, and she's kind of a natural. But no matter how much time passes and how happy I am watching my daughter grow, I will never forget what you did to me, and I will never forgive you. So no, I won't get over it.
Would you stop thinking about yourself and your petty grudges for 1 second? Don't you care that your sister is paralyzed?
Do I care? Yeah, I guess you could say I do. I couldn't be happier that something so unfortunate happened to someone so evil.
What?
And for the record, Riley and I had a deal. In exchange for not demanding child support and alimony, she would never interfere in my life ever again. She held me to my end of the bargain, so I am holding her to hers.
She never told me anything about that.
I can send you our text messages if you want. She was thrilled about the prospect of never speaking to me again.
Oh, come on. You're really gonna take an off-the-cuff deal like that? Seriously?
Unlike you, I keep my promises.
If you want me to break my promises, then you owe me back pay for the child support and alimony you would have had to pay me. Over 3 years, that should come out to around $100,000, I'd say.
You want me to pay you $100,000?
In a lump sum, cash payment, yes. As for caring for Riley, sorry, but $500 just isn't gonna cut it. I'd consider it for $5,000 a month, though.
You're out of your mind. There's no way I'm gonna pay you that much.
Oh? Then no deal. Take care of her yourself. How could you be so cruel to me? You're a nurse, aren't you? You'll take care of whatever random people come into your hospital, but not your own sister? I'm not interested in helping you mitigate the damage that your own karma did to you. You deserve every bit of what happened to you. So how are your babies doing? My babies? Yeah, you said you were gonna have a bunch of babies with him. How are you dealing with them now that you're paralyzed? Well, it turns out having babies isn't as easy as I thought. Actually, it's impossible for me. Uh-oh. You mean... I'm infertile. I found out before I got hit by that truck. We've been trying for a long time, so I got tested and... yeah, I can't have kids. There are treatments, though, and it's not a 0% chance. It's just really small. Isaac doesn't seem to be interested in me anymore, though. He's been cheating on me. I'll bet he's gonna divorce me any second now. Go on. He's the one who's responsible for me being paralyzed. I was suspicious of him for a while because he started staying at work way later than he did before. So one day I went over to his office to wait for him to get out of work. When he got in his car, I followed him. He drove to a bar downtown and I parked on the opposite side of the road to watch what he was doing. And then I saw him walk out with some pretty young bimbo on his arm. Oh man, keep going. This is getting good. I jumped out of my car to go confront him, but the moment I stepped out of the car... boom. Yeah, boom. That was a great story. Oh, thanks for telling me, Riley. Hey, stop mocking me. I think your attitude is going to change towards me once I tell you about my plan. Your plan? I'm going to divorce him and take him for all he's got. I'll clean out his savings accounts, stock portfolios, his house, even his car. Everything is going to be mine. And if you agree to help me out, then I'll give you half. You need money, right? You're a single mother, so I know things can't be going that great for you. I'd say I'm doing better than you are right now. I don't get it. What's with that attitude? I'm offering you the deal of a lifetime here. You have the opportunity to secure your daughter's future. If you let me live with you, then you'll get all the money you could ever want. You can pay for your daughter's college education, buy her a nice starter house, a nice car, anything. And in the meantime, while you look after me, I can look after her. That way you can keep your job during the daytime and not have to worry about a babysitter or daycare service. So what do you say? Do we have a deal? Not a chance. I would never let you anywhere near my daughter after what you did to me. You are the home-wrecking harlot who ripped her father away from her, and now you want to babysit her? I think that truck must have damaged your brain, too. Actually, no, you were always this stupid. Never mind. And you want me to let you live with me? Just the thought of seeing you every morning and night makes me want to puke. Are you really gonna turn down free money? I've done it before and I'll do it again. You want to sue him? Go ahead, take him to the cleaners. Then you can use that money to hire a nurse or something. But I don't just want a nurse, I want company. I want a friend. I can't handle being alone. Well, then I guess you have no choice but to do whatever it takes to stay with Isaac, even if that means turning a blind eye while he cheats. You expect me to allow him to cheat on me? How else do you plan on keeping him from divorcing you now that you're infertile and wheelchair-bound? I don't know. Well, put on your big girl thinking cap and start coming up with ideas. Either that or stop asking Isaac for a reason whenever he comes home late.
Samantha, I'm begging you. Please, you have to help me. I lowballed you before with $500 a month. I know. I'm sorry. So name your price. I'll pay you as much as you want. Just take care of Riley for me.
Are you groveling right now? That's a change of heart. What happened to your cocky attitude from before? Go on, tell me all about it. I loved hearing from Riley a month ago.
I'm gonna lose my job at this rate. Riley is constantly bossing me around. I'm at my wit's end.
Uh-huh. Well, first things first, calm down. How are you going to tell me about your life collapsing from beneath you if you're so tense?
I can't calm down. Why do you think I'm talking to you right now? I need help now.
Then start explaining.
Okay. So, I tried hiring a bunch of live-in and visiting nurses, but Riley hated all of them. Every time I hired a new one, she would fire her on the first day. Now it's up to me to do everything for her. My company has a strict policy against working from home, but I begged and pleaded with my bosses, and they finally relented and let me work remotely. But it's not going well.
Tell me more, Isaac. Don't spare a single detail.
There's a super important web meeting that I need to lead, but I've had to delay it 5 times now because of Riley. As soon as the meeting starts, she'll start pounding on my door and shouting at me. I'm hungry. I need to go to the bathroom. My leg itches. I can't find the remote. It's almost like she's doing it on purpose. My colleagues are furious, and so are my superiors. They made an exception for me, but since it's now clear I can't successfully work from home, they rescinded my permission. I have to go back to the office now.
How terrible! Please continue.
Every day before I leave the house, she rips into me for the whole morning about how she thinks I'm having an affair.
But you are having an affair, right, Isaac?
That's not important right now.
I thought so.
She follows me out to my car, shouting at me the whole way. You're a cheating scumbag. I'm stuck in this wheelchair while you're sleeping with another woman. I hate you.
Correct on all counts.
Shut up.
Sorry, go ahead and continue.
She shouts so loud that I bet everyone in the neighborhood can hear her. I can see the neighbors looking through the slits in their curtains. It's like my marriage is some kind of soap opera to them.
That sounds positively dreadful, Isaac. Keep going.
Today she did the worst thing yet. She came to my office. She rolled herself all the way into the back offices and started shouting about how I was having an affair. She said it's my fault she got hit by that truck.
Is it your fault?
Again, that's not the point. The point is everyone in my office now knows I'm cheating on her. I mean, thinks I'm cheating on her.
Nice Freudian slip.
You really think this is funny?
Oh no, Isaac, not at all. I was just thinking what a good sign this is.
A good sign?
Riley is healthy enough to get all the way to your office and bypass all your company's security. Isn't that great? She's recovering. She shouldn't need as much help anymore.
I don't think she needs the help either. I think she's just milking her injury for all it's worth.
Well, as much as I am loving story time today, let's cut to the chase. Why are you contacting me? I made it clear the last time I wasn't going to help you.
Yeah, I know. I was going through your Instagram pictures today.
That's kind of creepy.
I was just curious, about how you and our daughter are doing. I see you're taking her to piano lessons.
Yeah, she's been going for a while now.
The video from her recital that you posted a few days ago was one of the cutest things I've ever seen. Seeing her in that cute little dress almost made me tear up a bit. Since Riley's, out of commission, I don't know if we'll ever be able to have kids.
I heard about all of that from Riley. Get to the point.
I want to meet her.
Yep, saw that coming.
I know, you must think I'm the most selfish jerk in the world right now.
You are correct.
But please, can't I meet her? Just once? I'm not stupid enough to ask you to take me back.
You were stupid enough to throw me away, though.
But, I don't know, could we maybe have dinner together one of these days? You, me, and our daughter? What do you say?
What do I say, Isaac? I say you must be out of your mind. Seriously, you've got some gall to be asking me to let you meet our daughter after you willingly walked away from her. Don't think I forgot what you said the day you divorced me. You said that you don't want to be any part of that kid's life. You may have broken every other promise you made to me and Riley, but you're gonna keep that one. She is my daughter, not yours, not ours, mine. She's the most beautiful thing in this world, and I will not allow you to poison her pure heart. You think you can just treat me like dirt and walk in and out of my life whenever it's convenient for you? Think again.
Samantha, I'm sorry. I was awful to you. I realize that now.
You're too late for apologies. I will never forgive you. If you're really sorry and really want to make it up to me, there's only one thing you can do.
What is it? Tell me and I'll do it. Whatever it is, you name it, it's done.
The thing you promised to do 3 years ago. Never interfere in my life again. You are dead to me.
Samantha, please!
Good luck with Riley, Isaac. You're all she has. For once in your life, do the right thing. Don't abandon her like you abandoned me. Goodbye, Isaac. Surprisingly, Isaac kept his word to me. He never tried to contact me again. I heard about how things are currently going for him through some mutual old friends. It was clear to Isaac that Riley would drive away anyone who he hired to take care of her. He put in a request to his company to be transferred to a less demanding position so he'd have more free time to spend on her. This obviously meant a significant pay cut. He's now making less than a third of what he was making before. He couldn't make the payments on his car anymore, so he had to sell it to pay off the rest of the loan. The mortgage on his house is a bit beyond his current means too, but he's fighting tooth and nail to avoid having to move somewhere cheaper. Even at his less demanding position, he's still having a hard time at work. News of his wife's accusations quickly spread through the company. However, like usually happens with rumors, they changed quite a bit as time went on. Just cheating on his wheelchair-bound wife would have been enough to get him labeled a pariah, but once the story became abusing his wheelchair-bound wife, let's just say he's not making any friends in his new department. Riley is also just as bitter and angry as she's ever been. No matter how much he does for her, it's never enough. When he makes her dinner, it's not quick enough. When he makes her bed, it's not neat enough. When he gets her new clothes, they're not stylish enough. Both at the office and around the house, he just wanders around in a daze, like his soul has been sucked out of him. As for me, though, I'm doing just fine. After the divorce and birth of my daughter, I moved in with my parents for a while. Once I was able to get back to work, they looked after my daughter while I was gone. Now I'm completely back on my feet and I'm living on my own in an apartment near the hospital where I work. My daughter has been scouted by a private elementary school for musically gifted students. Not only that, they said due to my family situation, she would qualify for a full scholarship. I can't wait to see what the future brings, both for me and my daughter.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.